The GOAT discussed a potential return to football last season on yesterday's Mark Madden show, and the team interested was not the Steelers. Also, Pierre Island is back, bitches. Big Deke news. So, okay, I know, this is the segment everyone's waiting on pins and needles for. What's Deke's reaction to Seven saying that the 49ers were interested in signing him last year? Well, here's the soundbite.
I would say this. Last year, there were some truths to the Niners thing, just in the sense that they were, I think, reaching out for some, just to maybe gauge my interest.
Right.
And so I had discussions with, and so, that's all. I don't want to sit here and say that I was going or anything like that. They called to gauge interest, okay? I had conversations with my agent, with my wife, my family, prayed a lot about it. And I'd be lying if I didn't say there wasn't like a small part of me that was intrigued, like, oh man, I could, I could still do it, like prove to people, right, that I could still play. But at the end of the day, I just can't see myself in anything other than black and gold. And I think that honestly was kind of my, even though they had a great chance, I think, to win a Super Bowl, it would have been hard for me to go try and win a Super Bowl anywhere else but here. So at the end of the day, it was the smallest little bleep in my heart to go play again.
My simple reaction is this. Of course the Niners showed interest. Because if you want to win a championship, you know who to call up. And if you could tell from Seven's answer, he still felt like he had it, which he did. But you also heard the second part to his answer, where he said, I couldn't see myself doing it anywhere but the black and gold. That's what you call integrity. It's what you call loyalty. Something that the fake fans and the fake media of Pittsburgh know nothing about. But let's be real. Seven coming back and going to the 49ers is something that no one wanted to see. Because you have one side of the demographic, you got the seven truthers, the seven believers, who just can't see Seven in another uniform. It's just straight up blasphemous. It can't be done. And then on the flip side of the demographic, you have the fake fans who would be absolutely petrified at Seven's return, because Seven would show them how little they know about football and how wrong they were for thinking that he was washed and running him out of town. You mean to tell me Seven in that 49ers offense with Kyle Shanahan as the OC wouldn't cook? He'd have an actual offensive line that can block, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and also a great defense to back him up. Whereas in 2021, for Seven's last season, he was dealing with literally the worst offensive line in the league. Receivers that couldn't get great separation and couldn't catch the ball consistently. A running game that was non-existent. A defense that was 32nd in the running game, literally last in the league. Oh, and also an offensive coordinator that was incompetent and in over his head at the time. Yet somehow, again, with Big Ben at the helm at quarterback, we had a winning record and still was able to make the playoffs. Hashtag wasn't Seven's fault. So yeah, I have no doubt that if Big Ben were to have come back last season and joined the 49ers, that if all were equal in this alternate reality, like the same end of the season scenario plays out where same teams make the playoffs, for instance, because, I mean, if the Steelers were to have made the playoffs, watch out. I think we go on a run. We were hot. I'm taking the Steelers. But again, if everything played out the same, we were left out, unfortunately. I think Big Ben gets that third and proves the fake fans and the losers wrong for running him out of the city of Pittsburgh and thinking that he's washed. But don't forget, there is this.
At the end of the day, I just can't see myself in anything other than black and gold.
In other news, Steelers cornerback James Pierre, a.k.a. Pierre Island, is officially back with the team.
What's up, Steelers Nation? James Pierre, back for another year. Ready to get back to work. Let's get it.
Very happy this move was made. He was another one of those guys like Steven Sims, who we talked about yesterday, who was eligible to be a restricted free agent. We could have put the tender on him and paid him a guaranteed $2.6 million, but we did not do that. He was able to hit the open market, but then he ends up coming back to the Steelers on a one-year deal, which I'm assuming is going to be less than that 2.6 number, probably in the million range, which I think, for what James Pierre has brought to the table these last 2 years, is great value. we've had our ups and downs, mainly because going into 2021, you had people like me calling him Pierre Island after witnessing him do a pass breakup against the Browns in the wild card game. Like he flipped his hips pretty good, and that got a lot of people hyped. And I may have dubbed him Pierre Island. Let me know. Was I the one that did that? I still don't know if we have full confirmation on that. But ever since that moment, we were very high on Pierre. And then he let us down in moments in 2021, like against Jamar Chase in week 3 against the Bengals. But he's also had some very good highlights, like the final pick against the Denver Broncos when Teddy Bridgewater was driving for a comeback. Had a crazy pick this year against the Colts. I feel like he found his role. Awesome special teams player for us, and CB4, CB5. Guy that you can put in there, knows what he's doing, and can make plays. And he really stepped up in that Tampa Bay game when we did ask him to start. It was him and Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson, a dude we picked up off the street and was on our practice squad because our top 3 corners were hurt. But yeah, I mean, they did a good job against Brady and those Bucs receivers. So I'm happy Pierre's back. I wonder if this impacts Ahkello Witherspoon at all. Now that we have Pierre, do we feel more free to cut Ahkello and save $4 million in cap space? Because if you tell me right now we have Levi Wallace, Patrick Peterson, James Pierre, we're probably going to draft a guy. I think we'd be okay to cut Ahkello, free up that cap space, and with that cap space, we could use to bring back Edmonds on like a $4 million deal. But maybe it doesn't have to be an either-or thing. We could still bring back Edmonds and keep Ahkello, have Ahkello for competition for Levi, I guess, and just see how it plays out in the offseason. But yeah, overall, this is just a flat-outright good signing, in my opinion. But that's it for this edition of Big Deke News. Let me know what you guys think of some of the topics discussed down in the comments. Stay chilling. Peace.